All right, let's talk about loneliness. Let's stop pretending loneliness isn't just an emotion. It's a sucker punch. It feels like a sucker punch, right? That sneaks up while you're scrolling late at night or staring at highlight reels of people's curated love stories. And it tells you that you're not enough, that you're missing something, or maybe someone, that you're behind. But what if I told you that loneliness isn't a void, it's a message? And I'm not talking about solitude. There's a difference between loneliness and solitude. Solitude is where you get your charge, your refuel, you feel empowered. Feeling loneliness, not lonely because lonely is just a feeling, it's normal. But if you're stuck in loneliness, right? If you're constantly feeling grayed out and depowered, if you're feeling less than, if you're holding on to the feeling of being lonely and defining yourself by that feeling, right? That's what I'm talking about. It's a blinking light saying that it's time to reconnect with yourself or with others or with your whole life. So let's unpack this. The problem isn't that you're alone, right? And I think a lot of people think that loneliness means that you're alone. It doesn't mean that that's the problem. What it's telling you is that you're uncomfortable with being alone, right? Society makes singleness out of a problem we're supposed to fix. Your aunts keep asking you when you're going to settle down. Your friends mean well, but they say you'll find someone. And even when you're not looking, the messages, relentless TV ads, rom-coms, they all push the idea that being loved by someone or being loved by someone else is the end game. So of course, when you're single, especially long term, it starts to feel like you're not just alone, but you're abnormal, right? Like your value is on back order until someone else confirms it with affection. Let me be loud and clear. That is not truth. That's conditioning, and conditioning can be unlearned. Loneliness versus aloneness, the inner earthquake. Let's define some terms here. All right, so being alone, you're physically by yourself, right? No big deal. Could be a night in, could be a solo trip, could be for many, this could be actually really peaceful. I remember after divorce, I traveled for the first time in my life. And what I mean by travel is I actually went somewhere that was more than like an hour on a plane. I went to, I was going to say we, but what I mean by we is me and all of the parts of myself, including the part that was very lonely and terrified. I went to Florence, Italy. And when I went there, um, I experienced parts of myself, reconnected with parts of myself that I had never connected with. And although I was alone, I didn't feel lonely, right? Feeling lonely, now this one is different. It's a heart level ache. It's a craving, a sense of being disconnected, not just from people, but from yourself. And this is what I want to emphasize, that when you're feeling loneliness or you're constantly feeling lonely, tying your worth to it, there's a disconnection with self. Although I was alone in Florence, Italy, I felt very connected to self. You know, traveling was something that I rarely did. So giving myself that connected me to me. Let me give you another example. Riding my motorcycle. After my divorce, I bought my first motorcycle. I've had 6 or 7 now. And even though I'm alone riding the motorcycle, I don't feel lonely. And that's because when I'm on my motorcycle, I feel very connected to self, right? I feel like there's a reunion. And this is because it's tied to my story of when I was 12 years old, got my first little Honda scooter, a scooter spree in the 80s. And it was the first time that I felt like I had a cape. It was the first time I felt like I could fly. And buying a motorcycle later in life at 35 connected me to the spirit of that kid in the 80s. And so that reunion connecting me to myself is what made that loneliness go away, even though I was alone. Does that make sense? So you can feel deeply lonely in a relationship too. You can feel totally connected outside one. Loneliness isn't solved by another body in the room. It's solved by connection to purpose, to presence, to people who see you. So the next time that ache rises in your chest, don't try to numb it or swipe it away. Ask it what it wants to know. What loneliness might be telling you. Sometimes loneliness is telling you, hey, you're not aligned. Sometimes loneliness is saying you've abandoned yourself. Sometimes it's saying you just need a fucking hug, and that's okay, right? And you have to give yourself these things. You can't wait for someone else. You can't wait for love to answer this call. I mean, self-love means just this, giving yourself these things that no one else can give you. And that requires a practice. We live in a world where we're hyper-connected, but starved for real intimacy, right? Like likes, follows, fake laughter. It's noise. And then the noise dies down, and then what's left? And that's your real work. Going back to this idea of the discomfort of being alone, right? That's where the work is. That's the quote unquote problem, not the fact that you're alone. Using loneliness as fuel, not a cage. If you're stuck in loneliness, let's pivot. And here are some few raw but honest ways to start shifting. First, feel it fully without judgment. To not feel what you're truly feeling is going to get the feeling to increase. Think of it this way. Whatever you're feeling, loneliness, anger, whatever, you have to feel through it. You have to feel it in order to release it, So feel it without judging it. Sit in it, breathe, journal, journal it out. Like you're explaining your pain to, an alien who doesn't know what loneliness is. Don't filter, just scribble your thoughts, say it out loud. 2, stop treating singleness like it's a symptom. There's nothing wrong with you because you're single. You're not in between chapters. This is the chapter. Live it, own it. Decorate your space, make dinner for yourself, show up to your own life. Just because you're single doesn't mean that you don't have a life. I know a lot of times when I was single, I felt like hitting pause on life, and then I was going to do this or buy that or decorate my apartment or do all these things once I found someone. And it made me very powerless. So instead of living in color, I lived in black and white. I hit pause on life. 3, create a ritual for connection. Not scrolling, not dating apps, or like real connection. Find a community, a call, sit down with someone and exchange a meaningful conversation, a walk. Get into a community where you're doing some fitness, or maybe you're riding motorcycles together, whatever lines up with your passion. Something that feeds your soul, not your ego. Speak your shame out loud. Shame thrives in silence. So tell someone what you're feeling, even if you think it makes you look needy. It just humanizes you, gives yourself permission to be human. And 5, redefine what enough feels like. Make a list of moments where you feel whole on your own, and use those as a reminder that you don't need to be in love to be in your life. So the last piece here is the power of community and why community changes everything. So here's the thing. You don't have to fix this alone. Yes, the relationship with yourself is foundational, but no one wants to be alone or is meant to do that alone, right? We're meant to do things in community. We're meant to grow through each other for deeper connection. And that's why I've built the Power of One. It's a 7-day challenge. And it's not just another self-help fix-it space. It's a safe, gritty, real, raw space where people like you, like-minded people are coming together to reclaim their power of singlehood and rewrite their stories, to stop apologizing for being in a season of singlehood, because it's not about just knowing the tools. It's about using them with others in real time with real people. So here's my invitation to you. If you related to any of this, or maybe you know someone who's going through this, struggling with loneliness, right? Or if there's something inside you kind of stirring, while reading this and your chest is opening up a little, or your eyes just got a little teary-eyed, that's your body telling you something. Join us in the show notes. It's 7 days. It's going to be super potent. Since it's only 7 days, I'll be with you every day. It's $7. It's $1 a day. And the reason I charge that is so there's buy-in. Because once you pay something, that means you're in, you're doing this, you're making yourself accountable. $7 is less than a cup of pour over coffee these days. So one powerful shift from loneliness to grounded, on purpose singlehood. This isn't just a challenge, it's a homecoming to yourself, to your story, to a community of like-minded people. And listen, who knows? There's a lot of people in there who are where you're at. And as you guys do this journey together, you guys may have a lot of common interests and friendships can turn into more. So let's go. Tap the link below or my bio link on Instagram at The Angry Therapist, and I will be with you for 7 days. It's going to be a intense, powerful 7 days. I will see you in there. Thank you for listening. Be well.